Hello, teachers, parents, and educational leaders, and welcome to this episode of Breaking Down the B.E.S.T. Now, during this episode, you will get a peek into the members-only area where I have tons of resources to help you make math fun, make it click, and make it stick. There should be a link somewhere around this video where you can learn more. All right, now that we got that out of the way, let's get to it, and let's break down the standard. Welcome to Breaking Down the B.E.S.T, a video series dedicated to breaking down Florida's B.E.S.T standards for math. So grab something to write with and maybe even a snack. This looks good. And don't forget to put a smile on your face. There you go, I see you. And let's dive into today's B.E.S.T standard. Hello everybody, my name is Sarah McCarthy and I'm super pumped that you are joining me for this episode as we break down the following standard. The standard is MA.4.M.1.2. Forgive me today because my iPad is being a little finicky, so I'm having to use my computer instead, okay? This standard says convert, which means to change within a single system of measurement using the units, yards, feet, inches, which are customary units for length. Kilometers, meters, centimeters, and millimeters are metric units for length. We have pounds and ounces, which are customary units for weight. Kilograms and grams are metric units for mass. We'll be using gallons, quarts, pints, cups. Those are customary units for liquid volume. And we have liters and milliliters, which are metric units for liquid volume. And don't forget, we have hours, minutes, and seconds, which are ways that we measure time. Just ignore this part up here. Those were just a few notes from me that I could not erase, all right? We have some examples. It says, if a ribbon is 11 yards, 2 feet in length, how long is the ribbon in feet? So you can see that we would have to convert the 11 yards into feet and then add those 2 extra feet to determine the total length in feet. A gallon contains 16 cups. How many cups are in 3.5 gallons? And I made just a little note saying that usually we have to figure out that a gallon is 16 cups using a reference sheet. Oh, by the way, this document that I've marked up all over is not something that I created. This is something that the Florida Department of Education releases to the public for anybody to use. And what I do is I'm just showing you how I break down the standards in order to create resources that are strategically aligned to the standard. All right, so we got some benchmark clarifications to take a look at. And it says that here, instruction includes the understanding of how to convert from smaller to larger units, meaning going from milligrams up to kilograms, or milliliters up to liters, or from larger to smaller. So that would be the opposite way. In the past with Common Core, we did have students do larger to smaller units like that, but this is new right here, smaller units to larger units. This is new from Common Core. So with the B.E.S.T standards, going from smaller to larger is a new concept in 4th grade. It also says, for clarification number 2, that it says within this benchmark, the expectation is actually not to convert from grams to kilograms, meters to kilometers, or milliliters to liters. And this is because dividing by 1,000 is not a skill that's learned until 5th grade. And also clarification number 3, problems involving fractions are limited to the following denominators of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, and 16, and 100. Where are they coming from? What are the related benchmarks to this one? Well, in 4th grade, we have 4.M.1.1, and this is where we're measuring length, liquid volume, and temperature. It's the standard right before this one, but it goes well with it. And then in 3rd grade, we had one that was very similar to this one, just not as precise with measuring length, liquid, and temperature. In 5th grade, however, we'll be going to measurement conversions and also multi-step problems with measurement conversions. All right, this next section, the purpose and instructional strategy section, just going to break down a few notes that popped out at me. So the purpose is to see the relationships between the units they use for measurement, that students should begin to generalize that the smaller the unit is, the more precise of a measurement that they will get. So in 3rd grade, we weren't as precise. We were just getting comfortable with the ruler to the nearest 1/4 of an inch. But in 4th grade, we are getting more precise with these measurements. This says that for instruction, students need to use measuring devices in class to develop a sense of the attributes being measured. And I made a note over here to make this a priority. In taking on the B.E.S.T, it's really hard to break out the hands-on activities, right? So make sure that you are really intentional about making it a priority so students can develop a sense that there are 12 inches in a foot and that there are 3 feet in 1 yard, so they can start to see it and get comfortable with how much is an inch, how much is a foot, how much is a yard. I love this right here, giving students opportunities to measure the same object with different measuring tools and developing a sense of which one will be the most appropriate for measuring it. Here it says that students are not expected to memorize conversions. That's the same as in the Common Core. We always provided students with a reference sheet. In the Taking on the B.E.S.T video lessons, there will be little clips, little snippets of the reference sheet that they can refer to, but make sure that you are providing those conversion tools like charts during instruction, okay? In common misconceptions or errors, it says that students can assume that converting from smaller units to larger units, that multiplication is being used. And I just made a note here that this is kind of confusing wording. It's wrong, and they're writing it correctly, but going from smaller units to larger units, we are actually dividing there. For instance, going from 16 cups to 1 gallon, that would be going from a smaller to a larger. We would have to divide to get from 16 down to 1. And then the opposite over here. So just make sure that you understand that students confuse this, but it's actually the other way around. And that's because it takes the smaller units, it takes a lot of smaller units to make up that larger unit. Right down here we have instructional tasks. Here it says calculate how many minutes there are in 1 week. So you can see here we're going from weeks to days to hours to minutes. There's a lot of converting going on there. That's a multi-step problem. And I made a note that here is ordering. We've got 3 paper clips. One is 50 inches, one is 4 1/4 feet. Notice that fraction piece right there. And the other is 1 yard long. So we have 3 different units of measure, and we need to order the chains from longest to shortest. And just so you know, there is a math misconception mystery video on this. So I think that's it there. Let me go ahead and show you what you have access to with your membership. All right, so here we are at the home page. Just click members, enter here, select Taking on the B.E.S.T, and we are on 4th grade in the measurement strand. Measurement conversions right there, M.1.2. Okay, for the bronze, silver, and gold memberships, everyone has access to these. There's a really loud motorcycle. Everyone has access to these bronze resources. So you can see we have a measurement conversions involving length, a video on measurement conversions involving capacity or liquid volume, measurement conversions involving weight and mass, measurement conversions involving time. So 4 different video lessons, each with a printable page right here. You can just click it, open it up, and it's right there. But I'm actually going to show you a closer look at this as we go through the silver resources. So if you have the silver plan, of course, you can always go back to those bronze video lessons. Click on your printables. This has everything together, including those bronze video lessons. So you can see here the video icon. This is the first video lesson involving length. We have feet to yards, so customary units, and then kilometers to meters, which is our metric unit. And you can see right here that we have the reference that we'll be utilizing in the video. In your silver plan, you also have access to extra practice. So after they watch the video lesson, they have their notes and they can use their notes to then practice here. Okay, and then we have a video lesson on measurement conversions with capacity or liquid volume. Customary up here, going from quarts to gallons and cups, so it's a multi-step one. And then liters right here into milliliters. Then another practice page. Cool. Then we have weight and mass. So we have weight of pounds going into tons and ounces. And then here we have mass with kilograms converting into grams with extra practice. And the final video lesson involves time. So we have days converting into hours and then converting into minutes. And here weeks into years and days into years. Okay? Or actually years into days and years into weeks, depending on how you read the question. Here's an extra practice page for time. And then this is the math mission with measurement conversion. So this one, it says this activity requires the following tools: a yardstick, a ruler, and measuring tape. So here you can actually use the tools to measure the length of your room, measuring it in yards, rulers to the nearest foot, rulers to the nearest centimeter, and measuring tape in inches. And so just be prepared to have these tools ready to go before you throw your students into this math mission, okay? I like this second part. It says, which tool do you believe provided the most accurate measurement? Remember that this was the purpose of the standard, was for students to develop that sense. And then finally, we have the other video lesson, the math misconception mystery video. All you got to do is click play, and I will guide your students through the rest. So I'll say, go ahead and solve this problem on your own. Notice it's placing them in order from the longest to the shortest, like one of the sample problems in the standard that we went over. So yards, feet, and inches. So your students will solve that. And then they will watch as 4 other characters, which are really just me dressed up in silly costumes, solving the same problem. 3 of them will make mistakes and only 1 of them has the correct answer. After your students watch the video, they will have the opportunity to file their detective report, where they determine who the most reasonable answer belongs to, and they will evaluate the work of the 3 that were incorrect. Super fun. This is a big hit with your students, so definitely give this a shot if you've got the gold or the silver plan. If you do have the gold plan, you have access to even more, so let me show you. You can go back to your bronze and your silver resources at any time, but with the gold, you have this video breaking down the B.E.S.T, which is right here with all of the other standards, so you're right where you need to be, and it's also ad-free, which is awesome. These videos are on YouTube as well. They just have ads, so it's a little perk of being a gold member. But you also have access to a mini assessment with a variety of question types, and you can use this as a mini assessment, or you can use this as extra practice, however you want to do it. Your answer key for that is right here. And then of course, the big hit for the gold, the reason why you probably have the gold membership if you do, is because of McCarthy Math 155. This is a daily math intervention that I created. It's aligned to the Common Core standards. So there are a lot of skills that do trickle over into the B.E.S.T standards, and measurement conversions is one of them. So the 155 stands for 155 videos for each grade level. Let's take a look at 4th. All right, so here are all the different units. I'm just going to scroll down to show you where the measurement conversions one is. Right here. So we have 9 extra video lessons with the gold membership for length, capacity, and weight. So if you have students that need extra practice, you can definitely pull these videos. Same kind of thing. Play the video. These are more of skill-based videos, just driving the skill home to build those confidence muscles that students so desperately crave to build, right? You give them the opportunity to practice in a safe place and they can do amazing things. So you can see capacity, weight, length. I'll show you right here. Just a sample of the page. So in these kind of videos, they're quick, but we're going over 8 problems in this one, just showing you, all right? The only thing that you need to be aware of with McCarthy Math is that we're going from the larger units to the smaller units. So like from in this one, going from cups into fluid ounces, cups being the larger unit, fluid ounces being the smaller. It's not flipped the other way because Common Core only had them converting from the larger units into the smaller units. So just keep that in mind. But there's so much with McCarthy Math 155, which is why people get that gold membership, right? Okay, I think that's it. So I hope that this episode provided you with more insight into this measurement conversion standard, that you can see how we've changed things from the Common Core way of doing things, and that with your membership, you have access to so many resources that are strategically aligned to this standard. So before we go, let me remind you that what you choose to do with your life every day, it really does matter. Thank you for all that you do for students. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of your educational journey. And I know you're busy. I value your time. So I will see you on the next episode. Bye. Okay, so I know that I just said goodbye for now, but I'm gonna ask you to do one more thing, okay? If you enjoyed this episode, please consider sharing it with your teacher friends or other leaders in education. That's how I get to continue doing what I love to do, which of course is supporting you all to the best of my ability. All right, for real now. Bye.